So here is the assignment. Personal logo, positive and positive negative space. The essential question is, can I create a logo that represents me using the first letter of my last name and an image in negative space, or the other way around? I'll go through a couple different examples today for you, so don't worry about that. Using all the information that we've collected over the previous 3 assignments, you need to create a logo that will represent you. This logo will be made up of the first letter of your last name, being shown in positive space, or negative space, and an image or images that represent you in negative space in the negative space of the letter, or the letter represented in an image. Okay, remember, you are not building your letter out of objects or images. You are using the letter and subtracting the images from it. So I will show you examples on our little camera drawing thing here. Okay, so let's go through this portion of the project. Let me get my camera switched over right quick like. Okay, so here we go. So the last part of the project that we were working on, create 5 visual representations for each of your 5 words. So I have all these different things. I have weights. I have chains for my strong. For big, we had like a gorilla, a mountain, or a protein shake. Happy, a person jumping. Sunflower. Compassion, people hugging. Hearts that were interlocked. And then motivated, we had check mark, someone pulling car, or hourglass. Okay, so now I need to start working on a logo that will represent me. Okay, I'm going to use the first letter of my last name, which is R. If you have 2 last names, you can use either one of those, but we're not using our first letter of our first name. It is of our last name. Now, with this being said, if I'm going to write an R that represents me, Mr. Reynoso, and this is mainly for those of you that know me, because if you don't know me and you're seeing me before, other than look at me in the camera, you might not understand this. I am not going to use this R to represent me. Why? Why wouldn't I use
too small?
Too small. And what are you trying to say? Are you calling me fat, Enter, for the whole class? That's messed up. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Yes, totally. Okay, it's too small. It's like tiny, skinny, frail, and I am a large, thick individual. If I'm going to use an R to represent me, it's going to be like this. Like, that's a Reynoso R, right? Now, the other thing to think about is I want to end up using block letters in some sense, because in block letters, there's more positive space to work with, and there's a possibility of having more negative space, okay? Now, looking at this R that I just drew, I have negative space here, all of this. I have negative space here. I have negative space here that I can use, okay? And then I really have kind of like this shape over here, these edges, as kind of another negative space that I can use, all right? So if I'm looking through and say one of my words is artistic, or painting, right? And one of my images that I have that I want to try to utilize is like a paintbrush. Okay, well, how can I work a paintbrush into this? Well, this is my negative space here, so I might end up going like this. So now I have the foundation or the shape of my R, but with my negative space places, I ended up putting in a paintbrush. Maybe I'll go like this too. So I have a paintbrush inside my arm. What about this? This is something that I found. It's not an object in my arm, but I found this out accidentally, like a couple years ago. How does that represent me?
Your
using positive
first name.
Yeah, my first name is Ian. Starts with an I. So I have a lowercase I inside of my R. Been teaching graphic design, doing this for like 12 years, and I never realized that. Pretty fun stuff. Okay, so that's how I can look for some of the negative space stuff in my R. Now, I might also decide, like I said, to go the other way around, and maybe I will put an R into my object. Okay, so say I want to do football for mine. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to draw a football. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw an R in my football, and then I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to make my positive space here. Try to act like the skinny lines out here aren't there. Okay, so here's my positive space. And now in my negative space, you see I have like the silhouette, the outline of my R. So I'm drawing an R without showing an actual R. And then what I'm going to also do for this center space is go like this. So now I have like the center of my R. I have the shape of my R, and then I have this shape of a football. Okay, so I have my positive space. And again, if either one of these, the way your final project's going to look is it's going to be like this. I just didn't color it in because I don't want to waste all you guys' time. But my positive space will be one solid color. Yes, you will color it in. And my negative space will just be white. Like that. Okay, so here's an example of my image that represents me inside of my last letter. Here's an example of my last letter inside of the image that I feel represents me. Okay, again, making sure too that my R represents me in terms of it's a bigger R. Now, again, like I said in the assignment, what we are not doing, I repeat, we are not doing this. We're not going, oh, I'm an artist, so I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to draw my paintbrush. And then I also like to play basketball. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to make a basketball. And then I also play hockey. So I'm going to draw a hockey stick. Like that. Okay. This is not what we're doing. We're not building a letter out of objects. Okay. We are using positive negative space to show our image inside of our letter or to show our letter inside of our image. Right? So this is what we're going to do. And I need to adjust this on our actual assignment. Okay. Your assignment is going to be draw at least, because I like to use at least. Oops. Oh, yeah, there you go. Draw at least 4 logo ideas and turn them in. Okay, 4 logo ideas. I have 4 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you turn those 4 logo ideas in, I'm going to say, ooh, go ahead and do number 1, or number 2, or number 3. The reason I have you do this, again, my goal is to get you an A. And so what's going to happen is when you turn in just 1 and it's bad, I'm going to say, ooh, that's not correct. Please redo it. And I'll give you a 1 out of 5. And then you end up usually not redoing it. And then you end up getting a 1 out of 5. So we will turn in our 4 different ideas. I will tell you which one I feel is most successful. And then you will do a final drawing of that. Your first ones can be small like this. See my piece of paper? There's a large piece of paper. And they're pretty small little ideas, little sketches, about the size of half a finger or so. Okay? But then when I tell you the final one, you'll redraw that final one all nice and clean and pretty looking. Okay? Oops. Questions you guys have on that?